I work at a gas station in rural Pennsylvania. It's a boring job, but it's pretty easy and it pays all right. A few weeks ago, this new guy started. I'll call him Jeremy for now. Jeremy is weird. He's about 25 or 26 and he hardly speaks. But he's got the creepiest laugh I've ever heard. My boss and I have both noticed this, but it's never been a problem, so there's not much we can do about it. Customers have never complained about him, and he's always done his job fairly well. Up until a few weeks ago, anyway. That's when things started going missing. Employee theft can be a problem at any business that sells consumer goods, and there's only one person working at a time at this gas station. It's a pretty small place overall. About 2 weeks ago, my boss started noticing that we were short on motor oil. At first, it was a few containers at a time, then entire shelves and boxes from the back. Pretty soon, entire shipments would be gone the next day after we got them, and it would always be right after Jeremy's shift. My boss has checked the security cam tapes from every single night he worked, but he could never catch him in the act. Jeremy would lock up at closing, and then the motor oil would be gone the next day. My boss usually takes the tapes home with him to try and catch Jeremy stealing, but his daughter had a softball game last night, so he asked me to watch the tape for him. He offered to pay me overtime under the table, so obviously I took that offer. There are 3 cameras, so he gave me 3 different tapes to check. I figured it would be a long night, but I'm trying to save up for a vacation, so I really need the money. I took the tapes home, popped them in an old VCR, and sat back. 2 days ago, last time we worked, Jeremy started at 4 p.m. Everything seemed normal at first. He counted up his drawer, switched off with the girl who was smoking before him, and waited for a customer. The first person to walk in was Miss Templeton. The timestamp on the video read 4:03, a regular. She picked up her cigarettes, a newspaper, and paid with a 20. Nothing unusual there. The next customer was some local guy named Ron. He drives a motorcycle and usually comes in every few days. He filled up his tank, got a bag of beef jerky, paid with his credit card, and then left. The next guy was some guy with a cowboy hat. I have never seen him before, but we get plenty of strangers passing through, just like at any gas station. He got $40 worth of diesel fuel, paid with a $100 bill, and went on his way. I sat back and signed. The only thing more boring than doing this job is watching someone else do it. However, my boss's offer was enough to keep me watching though, so I left the tape on. Everything seemed normal. I had a feeling that if Jeremy was stealing motor oil, he knew we were suspicious of him by now. I didn't expect him to be dumb enough to let us catch him in on camera. Things stayed boring and routine until about 5 o'clock, that is. 5:03, Miss Templeton came back in. She must have forgotten something, but she didn't. She bought the same pack of cigarettes as before and the same newspaper. She paid with another 20. That's odd, I thought, but then again, she's a little bit absent-minded. I thought Jeremy should have told her she already got her smokes, but it's not against the rules to sell somebody the same thing twice. Then that's when Ron came in again. He bought another tank of gas for his motorcycle again. I let her check the outdoor camera because I thought maybe he had another car that he wanted to fill up. And the same pack of beef jerky, he paid with his credit card again. No big deal, I figured this was just a weird coincidence. Miss Templeton is forgetful, and Ron probably owns more than one Harley. Then that's when the guy in the cowboy hat came back in. I felt a chill run down my spine. Don't get diesel, don't get diesel. Found myself whispering to my empty room, but he did. He got $40 worth of diesel fuel and paid with another $100 bill. Every move he made was identical to his first visit, right down to the way he scratched his nose before he walked out. Either this guy rich, owns a lot of trucks, and just moved into town, or something bizarre is happening. I kept watching. Every customer for the next hour was the same one as before. Every single one. I was seriously freaked out. And then at 6:03, Miss Templeton walked back in. She brought her cigarettes and newspaper and paid with the 20 again. I thought I was gonna lose it. I only watched another half hour before I started fast forwarding through the rest. It was all the same. Every customer would come in at the exact same times, except 1 hour apart. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sneaky motherfucker Jeremy had messed with the tapes. He had run a loop of his first hour of business over and over. That wasn't the case. There are windows around the cash register area that the cameras cover, and I watched the sunlight fade as time ran on. Jeremy's routine didn't loop over. He swept, mopped, restocked, and did all his duties exactly how you would expect. But the same customers just kept coming in. I was panicking at this point. Something was seriously wrong with what I was seeing, and I had no explanation for it. I skipped ahead to when he locked up and walked out of his car. He hadn't stolen anything, but I kept watching, just to make sure. I fast forward one last time to about midnight. At exactly 12:03, out of nowhere, Jeremy's face pops up on the camera. I don't mean he moved in view. I mean that 1 second the store was empty, this next second was his face, all I could see. He wasn't looking at the camera, he was looking at me. I was sure of it. I screamed and fumbled for the remote. By the time I grabbed it, he was gone, just as soon as he had left. One frame he was there, the next he wasn't. My hands were shaking like crazy, but I popped in another tape. The other indoor camera shows the back area by the cash register. I would be able to see how he got to put up his face in the camera like that. I skipped around ahead to 12:03, but there was nothing. I would have been able to see him standing on a chair or something on this tape, but he wasn't there. I didn't see him enter the store at all after he left. It's like he wasn't really there. He doesn't know the security guard, and no alarms were triggered that night after he locked up. What I did see, however, was that at 12:03, the motor oil vanished off the shelf. All of it. Same as Jeremy's face. 1 second it was there, and the next it wasn't. I turned off that tape and went to bed. I didn't get a wink of sleep. My body is exhausted right now, but my mind is racing. The tape was undoubtedly the creepiest and most disturbing thing I've ever seen in my life. I work in a few hours. My boss asked me to bring the tapes back in and let him know what I found, but really, what the hell am I gonna say? Jeremy works the night shift tonight, directly after me, and the plan is for my boss to come in just before I leave and confront him with me, as I'm supposed to be the one who caught him stealing. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. I suppose I have to show my boss the tapes, but I don't want to watch him with him. I'd never want to see something like that again. Can't get the image of Jeremy's just smiling directly into the camera out of my mind. It was the creepiest look I've ever seen on another human being's face. Anyways, I'm gonna try to get some last minute sleep before I go in and deal with this. Let you guys know what happened. Update, 12:49 p.m. Updating from my phone. Apologies in advance for errors. My boss just finishing watching the last of the tapes. I told him what to expect, but you really can't prepare someone for something like that. He's scared shitless. I still am too. Jeremy's due to come in at 4. We got a little over an hour to get our shit together, but neither one of us knows what to say to him. Is he just a fucked up guy who likes to steal motor oil and scare the shit out of people? Or is he something else? I don't know if this is crazy, but does anyone think he could have had to do anything with the time loop? My boss said he never noticed anything like that in the other tapes, but the way he popped in this one made me think he knew that I would be watching. It's like he wanted me to see what he could do, like he was showing off or something. The way he smiled into the camera was like a little kid showing you a sandcastle they just built or something. I don't know. I'll probably sound crazy. I sure feel that part. I'm gonna talk to my boss some more. We have to calm ourselves down and figure out how to handle this. I'll update again tonight, but I have a really bad feeling about how this is gonna play out. Update, 4:33 p.m. No sign of Jeremy. Tried calling him, but his phone has been disconnected. We're calling the police. Update, 5:33 p.m. No sign of Jeremy. Tried calling him, but his phone has been disconnected. We're calling the police. Update, 6:33 p.m. No sign of Jeremy. Tried calling him, but his phone has been disconnected. We're calling the police. Update, 7:33 p.m. No sign of Jeremy. Tried calling him, but his phone has been disconnected. We're calling the police. Update, 8:33 p.m. No sign of Jeremy. Tried calling him, but his phone has been disconnected. We're calling the police. Update 10:58 p.m. Holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. I just got home and saw my previous updates. Things definitely make less sense now than ever. Here's what I can tell you. I went to work, Jeremy never showed up, my boss and I decided to call the police, as you're well aware. When I picked up the phone to call, though, the sun went out. I shit you not, that's what I thought happened. Apparently, I blacked out for exactly 5 hours because when I looked at the clock, it was 9:33. I think I got stuck in Jeremy's time loop. And then I snapped out of it at the exact same point I blacked out. It makes sense, but that's when things got really weird. My boss was right next to me when I blacked out, ready to corroborate my story to the cops. When I came to, the phone was in my hand, but it was dead, not even a dial tone. My boss was still right there, but he wasn't moving. He was standing up, but frozen. I looked at the clock again and it wasn't moving. The second hand had been stuck on 12. It was 9:33 exactly. The clock on the register computer screen wasn't even moving either. My phone was frozen. There was even a customer at the register waiting for my boss to get him cigarettes. I'm betting that would have been his 5th pack of the day. I got the fuck out of there. Didn't lock up, didn't turn out the lights. And sorry guys, I didn't grab the security tapes to upload them on the internet. Believe me, that was the last thing on my mind. The gas station is on a major highway and cars were parked all along, and except they weren't parked, they were frozen. The people inside were still sitting as wax statues. I got in my car and prayed it would start. Thankfully it did. About halfway home, time started up again. The static from the radio turned into music like it's supposed to be, and from what I could tell by listening to the talk host in between songs, no one noticed the time freeze or whatsoever. I was the only one. I'm sure Jeremy noticed as well. I still have no clue where he is or what he's doing. I'm hiding in my room and calling the police again in the morning. I don't know if I'll ever get to them before, or if I did. Whether they took me seriously, I'm scared for my life at this point. I'll update tomorrow if I can. Final update, 10:33 a.m. I finally fell asleep last night around 4. I have no idea how I did it. I guess exhaustion finally got the best of me. This morning I woke up from my phone ringing. It was my boss. He had been calling me since about 6. He woke up when time turned back on last night and immediately called the cops. They came by to see what was wrong and he told them everything. The police around here are all small-time guys. They were more concerned with the missing motor oil than anything, but my boss figured he would take it as long as he had their attention. They decided to go looking for Jeremy. We keep our employee applications on file, and since Jeremy started working here, his was easy to find. They checked the address on it and headed over to his house. You're not going to believe what they found. The address Jeremy listed on his application was an empty lot. At least now it is. There used to be a house there, but it burned down in 1993. Being a small town, almost everyone remembers that fire. A family of 4 used to live there way back when. Rumor has it that they had an estranged son who they never really talked about. But I can say for sure, if that's true, what I can say is true that after an insurance investigation, the fire was ruled as arson. The entire house was soaked in oil and torched with a Molotov cocktail. The entire family was sleeping when it happened. None of them survived. They never caught the guy who did it though. Rumor has it that when they tried to contact the estranged son, no one could find him. Anyways, my boss called and told me this and I freaked out. Then he asked me to come to the gas station. What are you, crazy? I said to him, but he assured me that the cops were there with him. Then he dropped a bomb. The FBI were also in town. They were going to talk to me one way or the other, so I might as well come in. It was about 7:15 and I want to go back to bed, but I figured I wouldn't be able to sleep much more anyways. So I went down. 4 men in suits greeted me and told me to have a seat. We went over everything 2 or 3 times until they got all the details down. Told them about Jeremy, the security tape, last night at work, everything. Finally, after I finished, one of the agents said, "Oh Jesus Christ, we got another one on our hands." And they made me sign a bunch of papers saying I wouldn't tell anyone about what happened, so I can't say much more. I may be breaking the law just by posting this. So, now I'm home, not sure what to do with myself. That agent's words, when I told him the story, are gonna haunt me for the rest of my life. Anyway, I gotta go. I have some errands to run today, and I then have to go into work to pick up some tapes. My boss and I think this new guy, Jeremy, he's a complete creep. He's stealing motor oil, and I have to watch the security footage just to see if I can catch him doing it. I have better things to do, but my boss is paying me overtime, under the table, that is. And I'm trying to save up money for a vacation, so I could really use the money. It should be pretty simple. The oil always goes missing right after shifts. I figured I'll just watch the tapes and catch him in the act, and that'll be that. Wow, what a story. Now, this one is one of my personal favorites, as this is honestly, I think, one of the more interesting creepypastas that I've read when I first got into it, and so this one has always stood out to me, honestly. And for some of you veterans of the channel might know that I actually did read this story a long time ago. Now, of course, I'm redoing it because, I mean, the audio back then was kind of shitty, and, I mean, this audio sounds a lot more clear and much more better than before, so, yeah. But anyways, enough about that. I want to talk about this story. First off, what I like about this story is the way it's structured. At the beginning, everything seems normal, maybe a little weird, things going on, but as the story progresses and goes on, it just becomes a whole shit show, and I like that. I like how it keeps it, pretty realistic from beginning to end. It keeps it consistent, never strays away too far from what it wants to achieve, or make itself as something big. I like that. I love it. I absolutely love it when stories try to keep it, condensed into a single incident. And so, I like how in the story we see, how things just normally go. Our main character doesn't expect anything. But then as he, dives deeper into this mystery of, I guess, the motor oil and this person, Jeremy, he ends up getting caught in his time loop. And it sort of begs the question, is Jeremy, has Jeremy done this before in other places? Has he gotten other people stuck in their time loop without even knowing? Especially towards the end, where our main character is once again trapped in the time loop again. I love that. By the way, that twist was amazing. That was a great fucking twist. But anyways, now another thing that now, speaking of the main character, I like the main character in this one, Yeah, he's not relatable, but honestly, sometimes you don't need relatable main characters. You need someone, who's interesting enough to sort of keep you for the ride that you're about to, or for the read, I guess, so to say in this instant. But yeah, I like how this character, he's not a fucking scaredy cat. He's not a pussy. He's also not dramatic, or he's not stupid. He doesn't do stupid things. He tries to keep it smart, and he thinks rationally as well. Not to mention, I also like how towards the end he honestly wants nothing to do with this. It's obvious that he didn't want to do anything with it, and that he's not, I don't know what the right word, but he's not, he's not like, oh, I was destined to do this, or those types of characters. I like this character. He's very round and more realistic and nonchalant, or chill as hell. On a side note, I also like how the story, I like how when there's a way to try and explain things, the story quickly shuts it down. When he said that maybe Jeremy found a way to time loop, and then the story quickly shuts it down. Nope. Actually, it's just the customers that are in the time loop. He himself is free of that time loop, and I do like that. I like how there are moments in the story where there's ways to, where if there's a way to, explain something, a normal explanation, nope. The story just shuts it down before you can even process, and I like that. I love it when stories do that. It just gets rid of the fucking questions that we all have, like, oh, why didn't you do this, or maybe it was just that, or this or that. I love that. I love when stories do that, It sort of keeps you guessing and for the ride, and it tries to keep you focused. I love it when stories do that. I can't express how much I like this story. This story is the best. This is like one of my top, but anyways, back on topic. Lastly, I want to talk about the character Jeremy. I like Jeremy. I like the sort of aura of mystery to him. Is he the same kid that was involved with the arson, the family arson, a few years ago? Is he the same person? There's connections sort of, or there's hints to sort of suggest it is. But then when you look at it, it's like, well, what is he doing working at a gas station, you know? I mean, keep in mind, the family house burned down, like everyone in the family was dead. So the son didn't make it out, from what my understanding. Not to mention, also, if the kid did get away, why would he come back into town? You know, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't, why would, if you murdered someone, the last thing you want to do is come back to the crime scene, It's just common sense. Not to mention also, if he's got, these time warping powers, or time loop, what is he doing working at a gas station? And why is he stealing the motor oil? Does he hate his family so much that Jeremy has the power to sort of skip through time and go into the future, buy motor oil, back into the past, and burn it over and over and over? Is that possible? And also with the FBI is involved with this. Obviously, they've been tracking down this guy. They said, "Oh Jesus, we got another one on our hands." What are the other instances that this has happened? What are the other encounters? And what has happened at these encounters? Is this even the same person? Are they even related? And also, how do you explain Jeremy's, time warping abilities? How is he able to affect some people, and how are some affected and some aren't? And does he have control over this, or does it just happen? I don't know. I like how there's this sort of a sense of mystery, and I like how this is really a solo incident. We don't get the full story, and it's sort of up to us to sort of speculate what happened, and I like that. I do like that. And also, what did the FBI and our main character talk about? There's also that, of course, at the end of the story, the main character sort of ends the story on that note. He says that there was some information exchange between, what was it? What happened? Did they go into detail of the other cases? Did they tell him, that this may be in fact the same person? What was that? We may never know. And also, is it just me, or was he just referring to, when the main character said that, "I'll never forget those words that the agent told me"? Was he referring to the, "Oh Jesus, we got another one on our hands"? Or was there something in that private conversation that our main character was told by the agent? I don't know. I might have to actually look back and read on that, but I'm pretty sure he was referring to the, "Oh geez, we got another one on our hands." But if it's not, then I guess it adds a bit of mystery. But yeah, that was the strangest security tape I've ever seen. I gotta say, this story is amazing, like I said throughout this video, and honestly, I cannot strongly recommend it. Link and description of the story will be at the bottom of the video. Alright? I strongly recommend checking out. This is one of my top 5 favorite ones. Honestly, the mystery of it, the build up, the characters, everything keeps it, focused from beginning to end, and I love that. Anyways, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to check out my other videos. And with that being said, I am out.